Now, Juliana Taimoorazy is the founder of the Iraqi Christian Relief Council. Pleased to say she joins me now from Chicago. Very good afternoon to you. Let's talk first of all about why the Pope has made this his first trip overseas since the whole pandemic began, and the first ever of a Pope to be meeting with the Grand Ayatollah of Iraq.
This indeed is a historic day, and thank you for having me, Isabel. This is very important for him to come to a land where Christianity came to 2,000 years ago through St. Thomas the Apostle. He didn't go simply to Iraq, Isabel. He went to a land which is called Cradle of Civilization, really. It is the land where King Ashurbanipal, the kingdom of Assyria and Babylonia was once. And really, to be honest with you, it's a little bit, he's gone there a little bit late, because in 2003, our population was 1.5 million. Today, it has dwindled down to less than 175,000. It is late, but it is. We're grateful that he's there, and his message is very important if it is delivered courageously, to not only to the Iraqi people and to the Prime Minister, to al-Sistani, but really to the Muslim world and to the entire world. So we welcome him to the land of Ashur, to Iraq, and to where the cradle of civilization is, to the second Holy Land.
And you yourself are from the cradle of civilization, as you put it, as an Assyrian, and you suffered religious persecution. You yourself will understand exactly how those Christians will be feeling on receiving this pilgrimage, this visit from the Pope. How powerful will it be for them?
You know, I was born and raised in Iran. I escaped Iran, the religious persecution, which began in 1979 after the fall of King of Iran. But I have dedicated my life to my people in Iraq because my ancestral homeland is Iraq. You were showing some of the most magnificent images just now, and my heart was fluttering because I was just there a year and a half ago. And some of those people that you were showing, some of the leadership I have met, and I have sat with one of the priests that just passed by, I had a meeting with a year and a half ago. And what makes me so happy, and what makes us in the diaspora so happy, is seeing the happiness of our people on the ground. They are so happy, they're so jubilous, and they're preparing for this momentous visit. So what we're hoping is that the Pope's message will be one of hope, one of bringing unity among all of the denominations, not just for the Catholics, but for everyone. And really, an important message should be that the religious freedom must be respected, human rights must be respected inside Iraq, and really, he must keep Iraq accountable, the Iraqi government accountable, because a few years ago in 2014, right before ISIS attacked, Iraqi government had pledged to create a safe haven for the Christians of Iraq, in where Karakos is located, in the Nineveh Plain in northern Iraq, where Christians would feel safe to be at. But a few months later, ISIS came and decimated that entire area. So, and his meeting with al-Sistani is very important tomorrow. We're really watching all of this trip very carefully, and we're hoping that his message will be courageously delivered, not just for the Christians, but really for all of Iraqis, because Iraq deserves to be healed.
It is a message of peace, isn't it, and of interfaith dialogue. And when you think that IS, who have waged terror across the world, had its capital in Mosul, in Iraq, to then have the leader of the Catholic Church, the Pope, and meeting the Grand Ayatollah of Iraq, and for them to pray together is incredibly powerful, isn't it?
It's very important for us to see that, for the Muslim world to see this, for the Jews, for the Christians, for Muslims to really see him going to Ur, which is in Nasiriyah in southern Iraq, where Abraham came from. And let us not forget, although he's going to these very ancient places, there's much bloodshed that has happened just recently in Nasiriyah. People have risen against the lack of economy, lack of healthcare in the very place that he's going to be visiting tomorrow in Nasiriyah. So as he's traveling on this very land, and he's sending that peaceful message, we're hoping that the eyes of the world will once again be on Iraq, and it will assist, the world will assist this country to stand on its feet, because Iraq once was a mosaic, was a beautiful mosaic of diversity. It can be a bastion of diversity once again. It can be a bastion of religious freedom once again, but only if it's assisted to stand on its feet again. This is a momentous trip, but only if the message is delivered appropriately and if the world pays attention and if the Iraqi government pays attention to it.
Look, hearing you speak so hopefully, no one can question that this will be, as you say, assuming it reaches all of those conditions, a good thing. But there are those who are questioning the timing of this. There are, as you say, concerns about security still in the country, people dying as recently as in the last few weeks there in suicide bombings and the like. But also, of course, the pressing issue of COVID. Is it wise for the Pope to be inevitably pulling people to wherever he is attending, to see him, to pray with him, to put on a show for him, putting people's health at risk?
That has been a question on all of our minds. Is this the right time for him to be there, given COVID? Should he have been there a few years ago? Because frankly, our community has been decimated. As I said, only 175,000 of our people are left in there. Many of them are living in terrible conditions as refugees in Turkey, Lebanon, and Jordan. And there are many living in exile in the diaspora, thirsty for their land, to return to their land. They're not doing so, as you said, because of lack of security. Given COVID, many are afraid that there's going to be a massive surge once again. We're hoping that the Iraqi government is taking the appropriate measures to protect those people, wearing the masks. Unfortunately, the vaccines are just starting to come into the country. There are concerns. Those are real concerns that we have for people's safety because the healthcare system, unfortunately, is squeezed to its end. So we are watching that. We're watching those carefully. But he has chosen that. And that was a discussion that he had with the Iraqi government. So we're just going to have to sit and see what happens after this.
OK, Juliana Taimoorazy, founder of the Iraqi Christian Relief Council. Thanks very much for telling us your story and for your hope for this visit as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.